Alrighty. Let's get this underway, shall we? Q, hello, how are you doing? How are you doing, Q? I'm kind of fumbling around, not gonna lie, because we're in a bit of a strange position. I am currently streaming to 3 separate streaming sites. We got YouTube, we got Picardo going, and then we've got Twitch going, which is Q, hello, a little bit strange. No, don't do that, Picardo. No, we can't have that. Alright. Again, very bad of me to not be completely focused, but... yeah, the echo was coming from Picardo of all places. Well, I don't mean to say of all places, it makes sense that it came from Picardo. Whatever, we got that going. Chat banner, whatever. I'm just gonna do furry, comic, gay. I don't know if people are gonna be searching for VTuber on Picardo, but hey, we'll keep it there. We'll keep it there. Because, like, who knows? Also, let me know if the music is a little bit too loud. I'm trying to go for a little bit of a, is that not too much power for one cat to handle? Just a little bit too much, yeah. Okay, I think we're solid. We'll worry about all of this in a little bit. That's good, that's good. If we go to Stream Manager, we've also got this to worry about. Talking about juggling, goodness. We'll turn that off, we'll turn off slow mode, and then we'll change our tags. And then I think we'll get into it. Furry. I think we'll work with that. I think we'll work with that for now. We got this going, we got this going, and then we got this going. That can work. Heyo, did I ask you the question yet? No, you have not. You've not asked me the question yet. But yeah, I think what I'm gonna do, right, is I am going to just finish off making my cup of tea, then we'll get started. Started? Oh goodness, where am I? Where am I coming from? That's not the accent that I've been associated with my entire life. Alright. Oh, that's not the question. Oh, wait. Do you look like a juggler to me? I mean, you could be. I'd never know. But yeah, what's your actual question? How would I get you to return to streaming? What? What do you mean? Am I not streaming right now? Hmm? Whatever do you mean? Alright. Alright, okay, let's go. Let's go. Let's go and do this, let's go and do this. We'll go with the live scene. Oh, oh, thank goodness. I thought that would pick up my actual face cam. That terrified me. That terrified me a lot. We're gonna have to do something really quick, though. Gonna have to transform flip horizontal. Because, like, right now, yeah, we need the guy to actually be looking at the art program. That's cool. One day you're gonna quit streaming. Oh, I don't think I will. I mean, one day I will, but, you know. It's not as if you can summon me like a demon. At least not yet. We need a display capture. We'll go for... yeah, here we go. That needs to go all the way to the bottom. Down, 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 down. All the way to the bottom. Lovely. That's what you love to see. Right. I think now is a better time than any to make a beginning. 98% of people will die during their lifetime. Goodness, what about the other 2%? Are you telling me that there is a 2% population of vampires and other undeads in the world? Hopefully not. Hopefully not. That would actually be very, very terrifying. Alright, so we got, like, the sketch here. We still need to finish off Eve. We still need to finish off Clive as well. I think he's mostly done. But there's a couple of things. Do I have to politely ask you to return, blackmail, or manipulate you based on your ethics? Well, I think bribeability is a test of character, and that is a test of character that I will fail 9 times out of 10. But yeah, I need to figure out all of this nonsense. I need to figure out all of this nonsense to make sure everything is actually working. Oh yeah, we may as well add the sub-goal and a couple of other things too. We've got the alert box, that's good. We'll keep that. We need ourselves a subscription goal. Yeah, why not? We'll use our one. Very nice. Right. No, 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 no. Subscription goal. All the way down for you, my love. All the way. That's way too slow. So. Oh my goodness, Streamlabs. Talk about frustrating. There we go. And chuck that all the way down here. Come on. Bruh, please. Go here. Visual settings. Oh, right. I recognize why that is. It's our filter. It's our filter that we have right here. Sweet. We'll work with that. I think that'll have to work. That'll have to work for now. I think we've got everything else working. We do not have chat, you're right. Oh, where's chat? Come on, we need chat. Where's chat? There's chat. Hello, chat. You can go all the way over there. Now we've got everything set up. You want a friend of you to get back into stream. Well, sometimes that friend of yours might not... Money. Money. How prudent of you. How prudent of you, Co. Money, 2.5 yachts. Crazy. Actually, you know what I can do? Hold on, we can do game capture. New source. We'll do capture a specific window, Clip Studio Paint. I'll assume that works. We get rid of that. It doesn't work. Well, we're stuck with this. Unfun. Goodness. Bye-bye. How much do you have to pay them 2.5 yachts? Ah. Them's the rules, it seems. Them's the rules. Sometimes you just can't get anyone to behave the way you want them to. Crazy. Anyway, enough dilly-daddling around, let's actually get into what we're meant to be doing today. We got him. I think we just focus on the guys that we've got right now, and then we'll, like, you know, work our way out. Oh, interesting. You can do that, or you can do... Ah, I see now. That's gonna be... Pay him in Styles body pillows. Yes. Yes, absolutely yes. Alright, leg, other leg. I don't know if that leg can actually... we could make it work. As long as it looks interesting, is really what we want to go for at the end of the day. That's not going to work. This is probably going to work. If we do 15, maybe if we do 20. 20 is going to work for us way better. Maybe if we add some stabilization, maybe we go all the way up to 30. There we go. I have every intention of speed running. Do you know how much shipping is gonna be on that? If you're asking me, I don't know. I don't know. If I get them made cheaply and, like, unethically, not too much. I can't set you back too much on that. If I try and make ethical body pillows, I'm gonna cost you way more than what you're expecting. Ethics are merely suggestions. Oh, goodness. You and I are thinking on the same wavelength, aren't we? Also, we may have a conundrum on our hands. Holy fuck, I do not... That's so fucking frustrating to deal with, goodness. Can't believe you're really out here saying that ethics are a It's a pen. I've been doing this on a pen this entire time. No wonder it looks so bad. No wonder. We're looking for rough sketch. Here we go. Something even smaller. More like something smaller. Let's be real with ourselves. That's much... Oh, that feels so much nicer. You haven't seen the How to Train Your Dragon t-shirts. We need to get kid-friendly body pillows. Like Styles drinking a nice hot cup of tea during his morning routine on a Friday. Oh dear. I wonder, like, do police... I mean... I wonder what, like, the strictness of police officer shifts would be back then. Because I really haven't written as much about his police routine as I probably should have. I really need to look into that sometime. Because, like, right now, I've just included him as being an officer of the law as, like, a part of his personality. I haven't done an awful lot with it. I really need to look into that sometime. Because I've certainly done that for, like, other police officers. And I have an idea about where Styles actually fits into the NYPD. But in terms of, like, you know... Let's try that again. In terms of, like, you know, what days he works, how he fits his police schedule into his clipped of schedule, it's kind of all up in the air at the moment. Still trying to figure out a lot of those, you know, the minutiae of his life out, which is okay. I suppose it puts me in an advantageous and disadvantageous spot. Advantageous because I can take it anywhere and I'm not limited by mistakes I've made in the past. Disadvantageous because I still have to write the damn thing. Which is kind of like the spot where I am in right now, where I'm going through and writing chapter 4. Do you understand? Okay, I'm gonna have a little bit of a rant here. But do you understand how hard it is to find esoteric information on, like, ID card systems from the 20s? Because, like, you have to assume that all police officers would have some form of identification other than a shield. But it's, like, so damn hard to find. And it hasn't improved over time. Like, the format for a police identity card seemingly varies from pieces of media, you know. And I can't really find one that's representative of either that time or just any time in general. So, like, because, like, obviously you can't use photographs, I think I'm just gonna have a text-based ID system, for one. in terms of, like, you know, how the layout is set, I'm probably going to take inspiration from, like, other TV shows and how they've done it. But yeah, very frustrating to say the least. Right, what does his face look like? I'm almost certain tea drinker is slang for a British person. Let me just search it up. Tea drinker slang. Oh, right, a person who abstains from alcohol. Wait, what? What do you call a tea drinker? No. What is drinking tea slang for? No, that's 2003. Oh, a pejorative term used for people who lack masculinity. Okay, that's what I thought. Yeah, I always thought it was, like a little bit of a jab to say someone was a tea drinker. Yeah, I always thought tea drinker was like, you know, term for an effeminate man. Or a man lacking masculinity. Because that kind of overlaps with, what the British stereotype is. That, like, you know, they're all effeminate or they're, like, all, you know, stuck up. Because, like, in America, the main question is always, is he gay or European, or is he, like, British or European? It's like, why do British people act so flamboyantly? Oh, it's just because, like, you know. That's kind of the joke that's... or kind of the jab that's appeared to transcend time. His mouth is not behaving in the way that it ought to. We'll make his face behave in the way that it's meant to eventually. But, like, right now we're just doing some basic sketching. Irish is they're always drunk. Yeah. There are a couple of Irish stereotypes, actually. Did you know that the luck of the Irish was, or is, sorry, an ironic phrase? It's like, people, when you say luck of the Irish, most people think, oh yeah, because the Irish are lucky people. No, no, no. People say luck of the Irish unironically, and I think the invention of the phrase either goes back to, I believe, either the gold rush or the prospecting days of America, and, you know, there are a lot of Irish immigrants who made their fortune from panning gold back in the day. That's supposedly, like, the lucky interpretation of the phrase. The unlucky interpretation comes down to, I believe, what is it? The potato famine in Ireland. And, like, that was seen as an unlucky event, considering, like, potatoes were, like, the main export of, Irish farms. And so, like, the scourge of the potato, or, like, you know, poisonous potato disease was seen as an unlucky event, and the luck of the Irish was meant to be. Make an extra NSFW page and make it a $70 Patreon exclusive. Oh. Would I draw pornography of Styles and Clive? Maybe. Maybe. I might do that. I might do that eventually. Who knows? I certainly would not make that public. Rest assured, that is not... That is not done. Mashed potatoes are just Irish guacamole. I don't think... Where does mashed potatoes is an English thing, though. Or at least it was, like, you know, yoinked by the English. Potato origin, where did you come from? Oh, no, it's actually from Germany and France. No, mashed potatoes' place of origin was the United Kingdom, but whereabouts in the United Kingdom? Yeah. Because, like, have you guys ever had bangers and mash? Because, like, that is a very, very British breakfast, or, like, sorry, a very, very British dinner to have. Or, like, sausages and mashed potatoes. At least in the 70s, if we're, like, talking, you know, 20th century England, bangers and mash is incredible. I would highly recommend mashed potatoes, bratwurst sausages, and gravy. His head is not in the place where I want it to be. We might have to move that over slightly. Move it up here. And we'll figure out, like, how he's meant to look eventually. Let's get rid of all of that, shall we? This needs to be much larger. I don't know why I'm still drawing in this size. There we go. Don't Google what they call... excuse me. Oh, right. I was thinking flip-flops. You were thinking the other word for that. I was confused for a second. Because, like, we usually call them flip-flops. We don't call them... We don't call them, like, you know, that name. Also, kind of weird that you like, named your, you know, type of, what's its face? Type of underwear after a shoe. Kind of weird. Is someone going Super Saiyan on my canvas? No. I am afraid not. Everyone is falling to their deaths in this page. Right now, we're, like, working on the, title page for Chapter 3. Because, like, I've pretty much finished off everything up until this point, and I have yet to finish off a proper title page for Chapter 3. So I figured to myself, well, why not do that right now? So that's what I'm currently doing. You may notice that, like, Prefect right here, this is meant to be Prefect, is bare-chested. It's like, this is during the Egypt section of Chapter 3. So I'm just doing that right now. Let's see. Neck is fine. for the most part. We might shift this over, actually. I think that's something we might do. Because we're in a spot where that could look better. I'm not gonna lie to you. Can't wait to have the time to sit down and read it all. I would highly recommend just, like, reading it in sections. Because, like, first of all, like, a lot of my dialogue is very, very, like, blitz-paced. Because I usually, well, when I was writing it previously, I would start off with having dialogue that was, what's its face? I would start off with having dialogue that was about 4 times as long as what got onto the page. Because originally I had a formatting issue of, like, how can I fit all the dialogue I have onto this one page? And, you know, I ended up using a font that was way bigger, to make it easier to read on iPhone. Because, like, I feel when you have to pinch in using your fingers to read a single panel, that is very user-unfriendly. But I've since solved that issue by uploading in, like, the Webtoons format of, you know, going panel by panel in a scrolling format. And it also adds to, like, you know, being able to see the smaller details that happen in a scene. Because, like, before we had, like, you pointed out an issue where you could barely see things that were happening in, like, Chapter 2. Specifically, like, styles appearing on the side of a panel. And I thought to myself, well, that's an issue. And I fixed that by just changing how I decided to format the whole thing. Which I think was, like, the easiest and, like, least energy spending method I could have done. And, you know what, I think it actually works well for, like, how I tell the story, too. It is meant to... Oh, pardon me. Is it all a little too brainy to read it all in one go? Not really. I mean, here's the thing, right? I try to write it so that, like, the casual reader can read through it and enjoy the events, and yet the attentive and very observant person will pick up on the smaller things that I decide to include from chapter to chapter. Because, like, that's really the direction I want the story to go, is for, like, you will get a basic idea of the story if you just go along and read it regularly. You will get a full understanding if you sit down and notice all the little things that I decide to include. It's because, like, the thing is, I am a huge fan of Chekhov's gun when it comes to writing. And so whenever I have an opportunity to set up a payoff later on, either later on in the chapter or even just later on in the story, I will always take it. I think, like, as of right now, there are several key arcs that I've alluded to as early as chapter 1. It's like, that's how much I enjoy the mechanic in terms of telling a story. It's like, I really enjoy writing a story that like, can be reread, and then when you go back and reread it, you'll notice, like, all the tiny things, like, how did I not notice that before? Or you may notice something, and you'll think to yourself, hold on, this doesn't make sense. why does this appear here, of all places? Get what I mean? That's why I like Chekhov's guns so much, is that you can basically... It's like combining foreshadowing and an intrinsic part of writing a mystery in a story into, like, a nice little package. That's what I really like about Chekhov's guns. Although, I don't want to include too many of them, and I don't want to include too many of them that have too little of a payoff, or too delayed of a payoff, otherwise it'll just become boring and tedious. There are a couple of those that I really have to wrap up soonish to avoid that issue, but I think for the most part it's pretty solid. It's what I've got going on at the moment. Anyway, enough of my rambling. Oh, right, and I've also got the ciphers. I don't know, I think that's something neat to add onto the pile of things that you can glean from a story. But I don't know, that's just me. I actually really, really like ciphers, because they're like a different form of puzzle, if that makes sense. Yeah. There's a couple of twists that I, A, need to set up, and B, need to have a reliable punch. Because the worst thing you can do with a twist in your story is have it so that it's, like, meaningless. It's like the story isn't improved by it. So, for example, there was a movie I watched the other night because it was Halloween. I watched it with my friends. It was called Hereditary. And the twist in that film involved information that the like average watcher just would not be able to understand on their own. And that's an example of a bad twist where, you know, it's just it's a hidden piece of the story that's deliberately hidden and then couldn't actually be sold by the reader. Or, like, the movie. You love that movie? I think, like, in terms of the horror, it does it well. In terms of the story, very poorly. Because, like, if you, like, you know the twist at the very end when it turns out that the blah 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 is actually the blah blah blah. And the blah 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 was put into the wrong body. And then the blah 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 is given a new body where the blah 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 can, like, appease a bunch of cultish worshippers. Get what I mean? And it's like, I really, really hated that twist. For a couple of reasons. One, how on earth were we meant to understand that? Two, is like, bruh. Another movie that does a twist really well is Fight Club. Fight Club has a really, really good twist at the ending, because, like, it has everything that appears early on in the story. I think Tyler Durden, like a subliminal message, will appear for 1 or 2 frames and then disappear immediately. But Fight Club, really, really good example of a twist that works to the benefit of the story, where, like, on the rewatch, you have to think to yourself, oh yeah, of course, that would make sense. I think Saw 1 has a pretty decent twist. Saw 1 is not, like, fresh in my mind, so I can't exactly remember what happens in it. But I think from, like, what I've heard, it was a good twist. It's like, of course, it makes sense now that I see it. Is like what you want to get out of a good twist. Right, I'll focus on, like, what's happening there in a little bit. Are we better than our actual sketch? Yes. Yes. We might have to just change up some anatomy shenanigans, but I think for the most part it looks good. We might draw that hip back, and we might actually just decrease the length of all of this. Because there are some guys in the background that could use a little bit of lovin'. It's like if we do the finger test, maybe that could work. We'll come back to it, whatever. Prefix falling. It's kind of a mix of going this way and then also going this way. Now we need to focus on Tom Clive, wherever he is. Here he is. We need to draw the boy over here. Sweet. That superhero movie on Netflix by Robert Rodriguez. Robert Rodriguez. Movies. Oh goodness. Coming from the director of Spy Kids. Oof. Are you talking about Alita Battle Angel? Is that what you're talking about? That's his most recent film. But if you think that's a cute movie, okay, I'll take your word for it. I'll probably just check it out. Wait a second. Look at this. 100 Years Film is an upcoming experimental science fiction film written by John Malkovich and directed by Robert Rodriguez, advertised in 2015 with the tagline, "The movie you will never see." It is due to be released on November 18th, 2115. Bruh, what? What is this? Come on. Come on, you can't be serious, huh? Huh? Alita is awesome. I'm talking about the one on Netflix he did. We Can Be Heroes, okay. While the details of the film have been kept highly secret, the names and roles of 3 actors have been released. John Malkovich as the male protagonist, Shuya Chang as the female protagonist, and Marco Zara as the antagonist. What the freak? Wait a second. Pending release, the film is being kept in a high-tech safe behind bulletproof glass that will open automatically on November 18, 2115, the day of the film's premiere. 1,000 guests from around the world, including Malkovich and Rodriguez, have received a pair of invitation tickets made of metal for the premiere, which they can be handed down to their descendants. The safe in which 100 Years is kept was showcased at the 2016 Cannes Film Festival. Oh, dude, I have to live long enough to be able to see that. I have to live to 115 years now. That's what that means. What that means is I'm gonna have to live, to be able to live and see this film, I will have to live to 115 and then some. I'm gonna be pissed if I make it to 115 years, we're in November, and I'm like, oh, come on, buddy, gotta, like, wait it out a little longer. And I just end up passing away in my sleep on, like, November the 10th. It's like, how awful would that be? Goodness. That is gonna be such a good prank if the 100 Years film comes out, and it turns out to be, like, a massive flop. And I was like, I've waited 115 years of my life to see this friggin' film. And it was all a waste. Oh, bullshit. 100 Years is apparently a short film, so I'm gonna have to just sign up for a nerd coffin. I was making several short films for them, and I finished that one first. We shot that one first. I thought that was gonna be a commercial or something, and then I showed the movie, and then they said, yeah, that's great, that's great. That's the one we lock away. And I said, what? That's the one you lock away? What about the other one with the future? No, that's the commercial. The one that I was most attached to was the one they locked away. Bruh. They'll stream the movie in my coffin. What if they just resuscitate me on the film's release? Like, come on, we gotta get this running. Crazy. Alright. Well, that's something I wish I never knew about. Could you imagine? Oh, could you imagine? Damn. Yeah, whatever. Whatever, we've just got this going on. Is this... okay, this is open on my actual screen. Alright, enough of that tomfoolery. Let's actually get back to what we're meant to be doing. And that's drawing Clive. Goodness, look at our boy. Look at our boy. We're gonna have to change this. We're gonna have to change this slightly. We got Prefect over here. Can get rid of him. I think everything else is fine, but we just gotta, like, do this. I'm gonna call this one Clive, because that's his name. We're gonna make it teal, or, you know, whatever this color is. Actually, we need to make it lighter. There it is. There he is. But yeah, what's the funny thing is that, like, they deliberately say, oh yeah, you can pass these tickets down to your descendants. I think what's funny of it all is that the Wikipedia article has the goal to say that it's an upcoming movie. Which, like, don't get me wrong, it's right, but that doesn't make it correct. Is an upcoming short film set to release on November the 18th, 2015. Goodness. Goodness, could you imagine? We'll worry about, like, how his figure handles the diving posture in a little bit. I think I might just, like, slim down his figure just a little bit, because, like, otherwise he's gonna look very, very, very silly. Very, very silly. What if you... True, you know what? Maybe you just might have to, like, adopt a child to have as your descendant. Oh, but what if your descendants die before they see the film? Oh, no. Oh, that's the true hell. Ugh. There we go. Did you hear about the art house film? There's... No. And there was a 72-hour trailer for... Screw art house films, man. It's like... The idea is that you want to entertain your audience at the end of the day. It's like, what? It's like, oh, I'm being experimental. Yeah, me being experimental would be, like, like showing a blank canvas for like half an hour and telling people, yeah, this is my I like wanted to capture the essence of boredom, and so I created a blank canvas that you will now watch for half an hour. It's not entertaining. It's pretentious and it's annoying. Is what it is. I think people like big up art way too much. I think art is only good if it provides value to the world. If it doesn't provide value to the world, sorry, Sonny. Not cutting it. Not cutting it. Am I gatekeeping art? Maybe. A little bit, probably. Do I care? Not really. Not really, not really at all. Wait, what do you mean streams? Yeah, the stream is public. Wait a sec. You have to do that. I say. Alright. Okay. An art house film that was 72 hours long for its trailer. Ugh. Yucky. What is the point? What is the damn point of that? We have a bit of a conundrum on our hands. We have a bit of a conundrum on our hands. Ugh. Maybe we do that. Oh, I saw that. No, I definitely saw that. That was, that was fucking funny. That was so funny. There's been a couple of trailer screw-ups over the years. There was the leak for the, Spider-Man movie. That was available for a couple of minutes before Disney took it down. That was a bit of a ha-ha for a little bit. I can't actually, now that I'm talking about Spider-Man, I kind of want to have a little bit of a rant about Spider-Man movies. Because, like, I'm gonna say it, I don't think there's been a good Spider-Man film that's been released since The Amazing Spider-Man. I think Marvel just has forgotten how to handle the character, if I'm being completely honest. Because, like, whenever you see Peter Parker, at least in the MCU, he's paired up with, like, adults. It's like the whole point of Spider-Man is that he's a child, or like that he's a child, but he can compete with the big boys. But in every single one of the films, he's basically just diminished to being the child that's trying to figure out his place in the world. It's like, bitch, the guy has superpowers? The guy has superpowers and has taken on cosmic entities, and you mean to tell me that he has to somehow make a name for himself? Like, come on! If you want to teach your kids that, like, they can contribute and have responsibility in the world, don't, like, you know, make your child or, like, your teenager roles as, like, incompetent and not very, like, confident. It's like, I want to look up to someone who's young but also successful at what they do. I don't want to see someone who's a bumbling mess and has to, like, appeal to, like, whether it be Tony Stark or whether it be, you know... I mean, like, he's literally had an authority figure in all of his films. Homecoming, he had Tony Stark, who, like, literally yoinked his suit. In friggin' what's-his-face? In Far From Home, he not only had Mysterio, but he also had Nick Fury. And then, in the recent one, he's got Doctor Strange. It's like, what? It's like, the reason why Spider-Man was my favorite character growing up is that he was young. He was, like, a young high schooler. He was, like, constantly bullied. But, like, he lived a double life as one of the best superheroes in New York. Like, the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. It's like, he gets upgraded to the status of the big boys, and he's like, nope. Nope, no agency smile. It's, like, so frustrating. It's like the executives at Marvel, or like Kevin Feige, let's face it, it's Kevin Feige because, like, he has a role to play in all the films. And, like, Marvel is a greater whole because, you know, that's the trend that have been seen in Spider-Man media, you know, extending beyond the MCU. It's like they constantly see Spider-Man and they're like, okay, he is the youngest superhero that we have. we will write him as a child, and writing him as a child equates to relies on the help of adults to do what he wants. It's like, what the hell? What's the point? The same thing happened in, like, Ultimate Spider-Man, the Marvel cartoon. There's a reason why Spectacular Spider-Man, made by Sony, is constantly rated as the best Spider-Man cartoon. It's like, one, he is a high schooler, he is young. Two, he is responsible for all of his own garbage. He doesn't get help from Daddy Shield, he doesn't get help from Daddy Iron Man. His problems are his own, and his own struggles are of his own. But like every other piece of Spider-Man media, it's like, oh, it's Spider-Man, but he's with the Avengers. Yay. The Avengers are seen as the adults, and the child is like, well, I am child, I guess I have to run in their step. Like, what's the point? Ugh. So frustrating. It's like, don't get me wrong, I love the MCU Spider-Man films, but it's so frustrating still to see, like, oh, young actor playing young child role. Well, time to treat them like young child. It's very, very frustrating. Very, very frustrating. I want to see some responsible young people for once. It's like the world isn't purely one for adults. It can be one for children, or like one for the younger people too. His arms are way too long. Let's see. Elbows reach the top of the head. That's good. That's good. That is what we want. We might move them just like a little bit down, but I think for the most part it's fine. I hope I can rewrite characters like that. Dude, I think people like have wanted to do that for ages, but you know, bit of a reality check, you know, this world only cares about people who have power, or can, like, you know, grant power to those who desire it. Bit of a heartbreaking reality, but, you know, there's no such thing as right and wrong, there's only winners and losers. Which is a very pessimistic way to look at the world, but, you know, the good thing is that right usually happens to coincide with power gained politically. But there is a growing trend of nations who are attaining power through very illegitimate means. Very oppressive means, mind you. And that's just no fun. Okay, I think that's a good pose for Clive. He's kind of like diving down. We might make his leg combine, like fit more into the... But then again, what we've got going on at the moment is pretty good too. So, it's not fun when the main has their adventure journey. Exactly! Main character agency is the one key factor for, like, rooting, especially for an underdog. An underdog that has agency in their actions is, like, so much more valuable than, you know, one that's constantly babied the entire way through. I just want a damn good Spider-Man movie. And considering Tom Holland has actually made an appearance in the end of Venom, or Venom 2, I would love to see a Venom movie where Spider-Man is the antagonist. How about that? How about that? That's an interesting concept, isn't it? Because, like, we constantly see Venom as the antagonist, who's usually shoved into the role of a protagonist, incidentally, or when they're forced to. But I wonder what would happen in a film where Spider-Man was written to be the antagonist. Bit of a thought for you there. Bit of a thought. Right. What we want to see is... Oh, we're gonna have to do this again. There we go, we can get rid of all of that. All of that, yep. Yeah. The thing with, like, the Soul Spider-Man thing nonsense is that I don't think we're gonna get a 4th film from Spider-Man. Because I, like, don't know about the agreement between Sony Pictures and Marvel Studios quite yet. But, like, from what it seems, it seems like we might not even get another Spider-Man film out of Marvel. Which is fine. I hope, like, Sony can just deliver on a good Spider-Man movie, instead of, like, you know, friggin' Homecoming. There we go. This new Spider-Man movie feels like a whole lot of eggs in one. True. But then again, it's Marvel. They usually seem to deliver on their promises. Like, I can't remember the last time when I watched a Marvel film and I thought, like, ugh, this is awful. Well, maybe like Dark World, but Dark World was more forgettable than it was awful. That's the good thing about Marvel films, is that no matter what, you can never have, like, a bad Marvel film. You'll have a forgettable Marvel film, but I don't think you'll ever have a bad Marvel film, which is good. Which is good. That's a really, that's like, that creates trust between a, you know, between a company such as Marvel Studios and its audience, which is like, that's exactly what you want. That's a good position to be in. Because, like, the worst position to be in is one where, like, consumers have to, like, ask the question of if the movie is good to begin with. Because, like, that's the issue that Sony has had for a very long time. Because, like, they try to force content, or at least, like, force content that they thought would work on, because, like, it's worked in the past. I call it disposable rather than bad. Yeah, it's disposable content is what it is, and that's what Marvel's whole shtick is. Which I'm pretty actually happy about. Because, like, even their bad films are good. That's a really good position you want to be in. Really, really good position you want to be in. Oh. We're gonna need to go a little bit small for this one. There we go. I'm part of the group that stopped watching after Endgame. Yeah, honestly, that's, yeah, no, I think Endgame is gonna be the stopping point for a lot of people. Because, like, right now, Marvel has a multiverse problem where stakes, like, here's an issue in writing that I see all the time. Multiverses are only good for characters, like, people who are, like, invested fans. Because, like, oh, you get to see a universe, but, like, Captain America is actually a woman. Or you get to see a universe where, you know, Iron Man was never captured in Saudi Arabia, or, like, whatever it is. Was it Saudi Arabia or Iran? You know, look, point is, it's good for the fans. It's not good for your, like, your long-term engagement with, like, a casual audience. Because, like, everyone could get behind Thanos as a villain. Like, he was a genocidal maniac, one. He, like, had a very... What the fuck is... Oh. Oh, that's weird. I'm just gonna do it like this. He had, like, an understandable philosophy, even though you couldn't agree with it, you could still understand it and be like, oh yeah, kill everyone to say, like, you know, the classic utilitarian debate. Do you choose genocide to save everyone, or do you, you know, accept it? Which is kind of like Thanos' whole shtick. Oh wait, no, his eyes are meant to be closed. There he goes. There he goes. We'll figure this out in a little bit. I think what I might do is go for a bathroom break, actually. My bladder is swelling. Like the new Eternals movie. Yeah, it's introducing 10 new characters in one movie. Like, how do I care? Tell me right now, Marvel, how do I care about these new people? Very, very difficult ask, honestly. Very, very difficult ask. And it's very, very bad that you're introducing 10 new characters all at once. That is a very, very poor thing to do in writing. Because, like, I like to quantify viewer attention span as, like, a quantitative, or, like, a regenerative substance, but one that you can burn out of, if that makes sense. Kind of like ethanol. Like, you can produce more ethanol, but you can still burn most of it. And if you try and introduce a cast of 10 characters all at once, very, very poor decision. You're basically forcing yourself to stretch your character development thin. And, like, you can't use a lot of depth. But consider that, and, like, a good example of that is the new series of Doctor Who, like with Jodie Whittaker, and count it, 5 companions. Or is it 4? No, it's 3, isn't it? Yeah, no, it's 3 companions totaling to, like, 4 separate people that I have to care about. Which is, like, really, really bad. Really, really bad. You don't want to try and spread yourself. You, like, introducing 4 characters all at once is a big ask. That is a big ask for an audience to care about, you know, multiple people simultaneously. It's usually good to, like, ease an audience into the characters you're introducing. Kind of like what they did in the original series of Doctor Who, where, first of all, you had the Doctor and you had Rose, and then they had all their adventures together. Then you introduced Mickey, and that was, like, the 3rd guy. And then you introduced Jack Harkness, and that was your 4th guy, and bam, you have your crew. But it's like, it's a really, really big ask to ask your viewers to care about 10 separate people all at once. It's like, you can only really do that with an anthology series. You can't really, like, do it all at once. Really, really big ask. The strength of the Avengers when it first came out was that, like, we had spent the past couple of years being introduced, like, to, like, all of these characters. Like, we'd seen Iron Man, we'd seen the Incredible Hulk, we had seen Thor, we had seen Captain America. Like, we had all those films to introduce us to the characters so they could come together and then fight Loki in the Avengers in, like, you know, a fun summer movie, which was really, really cool at the time. And that was the strength of Infinity War, is that we had spent all this time getting to know our characters so that they could all come together in the perfect scenario that would, you know, result in Infinity War. Probably one of the best, if not the best, MCU films in the entire series. Because, like, it didn't have to worry about introducing characters because we had been introduced to them already. The characters that we were introduced to didn't matter much in the grand scheme of things. Like, we're talking, what's its face? Oh, not this again. I'm gonna lose my mind if I get 2 more notifications from that group. Goodness. But yeah, suffice it to say, I don't have much hope for anything Marvel can present to me going forward. It's just like, it's kind of like, it feels like they're scraping the bottom of the barrel now. Which is a damn shame, honestly. Anyway, that's enough of a rant out of me. I'm going to take a quick bathroom break, and I will be right back. Probably going to finish off the sketch of Butch, which can be easily done. Styles, which can, again, be easily done. Kabia, we'll see. I will say, I'll definitely watch the new Thor. Love and Thunder, Taika Waititi, is just like, you know, can't go wrong. But yeah, I'll be right back. Oh. Alright. Let's get back to it. I'm not cute, bruh. I'm not cute. Don't make me ooh. No. 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 You're gonna make me and then and then no. Don't you dare. Don't you dare do the things you do. Alright, we've got 2 boys over here to worry about. We have to worry about... Oh, no. Alright. We got styles to worry about. No way. What? Who the hell is David Beasley? And I think I know who he is. Right, okay. Holy. I can only hope that the Musk delivers on his promise. That's crazy. What is this? Let's see. Climate change could bring near unlivable conditions for 3 billion people by 2070. Who knew, bro? Isn't that crazy? I would have never thought. Gee, I wonder where these places might be. Could it perhaps be around the equator? Could it? Honestly. Tisk tisk. Tisk tisk tisk. It's so quiet outside your house. Oh goodness. Bad quiet or good quiet? It's like the feeling of being in the woods camping at night. Ooh, spooky. Oh, was Halloween good for me? Yeah, I enjoyed Halloween. I went to a friend's place and had a Halloween party over there. We had the drinks and we had the good times. It was nice. Very, very nice. Yeah, I don't know. I'll be honest with you, it's been so a while since I've drawn that I'm actually starting to run out of steam, so... how about this? We will end it right here. But come tomorrow, we'll, like, finish off the sketch. Maybe work on a reference sheet or two. And yeah, I think I'm gonna spend the rest of today writing. Because, like, I really need to finish off chapter 4. Yeah, ultimately I would like to have all of it written by the time, by, like, the end of this week, or at least the week afterwards. So yeah, that's gonna be fun. But yeah, I think I'm gonna go now. Thanks so much for sticking around, Q. It means a lot to me. How you always stick around. And yeah, I think I might leave now. Hope you're having a nice night. Hope you have a nice night. And take care.